Craig in Westbrook. What's up, Craig? Greg, sorry.
That's all right. Hey, how you doing? Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I wanted to make the point because the last couple of weeks everybody's crapping all over the Yankees organization. I'm not a Yankees fan, but I look at their organization, and some of it is just there's these it factors. For instance, the Yankees, if you look at them, they bring up through their farm system guys like Gleyber Torres, Gary Sanchez, who both had real success at a major league level. It didn't last. They also had a couple of pitchers, and the names escaped me in the last 5 years, who also had real success. I don't know if it was injury or what, but that didn't last either. So that's one of the things you can't necessarily predict when you're bringing guys up. The other thing I'll make is that when you look at the parameters that the GM and the Yankees have to operate in, he can't have a losing season. He can't rebuild. So he's got to kind of fix things as he goes along. And looking at this here, I heard everybody dumping on Anthony Volpe. But if you look at him, compare him to Lindor, and I'm not saying he's the same player, but if you took them in, side-by-side comparison, he's holding his own, he's doing fine. And the same goes true with bringing in Bellinger. He's holding his own, and he's doing fine as compared to Juan Soto. And they had to go out and get Max Fried because they lost the other pitcher, Garrett Cole. So it's the situation in which he operates. And I think overall they do a good job. They just don't have losing seasons. And I know for some fans that's not good enough. But, I think they do pretty good.
Greg is hitting all my talk.
He set you up.
Greg is being the Yankee shill. He's literally, I don't even have to talk. Thanks, Greg. 888. No, what I would say, Cashman is a gangster. Cashman is a gangster. Look, I am disappointed with what's gone on here, and I think it's more than fair. I've always said this, even as I praise him. It's been almost 30 years. They haven't won a championship in 15.
Brian Cashman sucks.
The idea that the Yankee organization has gotten stale and it's time for a change is a fair, more than fair sentiment to have. I would never question that for a second. But I do agree with some of the things he has to say that the fans don't give him credit for, don't understand when they try and talk about, with the lower payroll, look at what the Rays are able to accomplish. Look what this team's able to accomplish. Brian Cashman can't sit anything out. Brian Cashman every year has to trade prospects for players, whether we think they go for the top players or not. Every year, the trade deadline, he's sending away assets. Every year they're winning, so they're not drafting at the top of the draft. Every year he's got to go out and spend money to try and put together a team that can at least compete to win a division. It's not, and again, not good enough to not win a championship for 15 years. Not good enough. But it's not as easy as people think. Let's be honest. Right now, the Mets are as in much of a free fall as the Yankees. They have the highest payroll. I know the Dodgers won a World Series last year. Look at how they're playing this year. They're not, they're
tied now.
They're tied in the division. They've been struggling. It's not just you throw $300 million at a payroll and it's easy to just be a great team. It's not as easy as people think. And I've always said that. And I think Brian Cashman and the job they have done, there's issues, absolutely. I have a lot of, we're hearing more and more about what's going on fundamentally in the farm system, and a lot of it's fair. We watch these players come up. And he also talked about the biggest issue I think that we've seen over the last handful of years and put the Yankees in the position they've been in is not only did Gleyber Torres and Greg Bird and Gary Sanchez not become what we thought they were going to become, but they hit it first.
Sure.
Like, there were decisions made based on the idea that Gleyber Torres was becoming the next young superstar in baseball.
Yeah.
There were decisions made on the 2017, 18, and 19 version of Gary Sanchez that was the premier power-hitting catcher in the sport. People were passed over under the idea of, we have a young core that eventually I'm going to have to pay. And so I don't need Manny Machado because Miguel Andujar just led my team in 8 extra base hits. I don't have to go out and sign Bryce Harper because I've just found a power-hitting catcher and I got Gleyber Torres and I got Judge in the outfield. So I'm going to...
Clint Frazier,
Greg Bird, who came up and was great for them. Like, they came up, they were instantly successful and looked like they were going to be stars for them. They were all stars multiple times over. And then decisions were made based on that. And then they failed, which is their fault. It's their fault they failed too. But it's just like part of it is, I think that's as big a reason for some of the Yankee troubles as we've seen. But yeah, moving on from Brian Cashman being disappointed in the organization is fair. Hating them with the passion of 1,000 suns and thinking they are completely incompetent and that Brian Cashman has no freaking clue what he's doing, that I have a problem with.
I don't get the fans that hate the team to the point where they say they want to see them miss out on the postseason. That doesn't make any sense because they're not firing anybody anyway, so you don't want to get October baseball. You want to completely be on the outside looking in and have the same manager, same general manager, whatever. We lost to the Dodgers last year, right? World Series. We were embarrassed. But the run differential will tell you a different story. I know I went to the games. It wasn't that close. But the Dodgers now that get called the new evil empire, they're 12-20 since July 4th. That puts them in the company of the Braves, who the Mets hopefully sweep and beat up on, the Rockies, the Nationals, and the Rays as the worst record since then. As many people are talking about the Yankees' record since June, the Dodgers have been struggling since July 4th. What about Mookie Betts, right? He's been struggling. They have a ton of injuries. And we always applaud their management for adding and for trading and obviously the deferred contracts. Okay, they got it. But you know what you said about Brian Cashman is 100% correct. He's in a spot where the Yankees draw the most fans in the American League, so they have to have stars on the field. He has to always pivot to the next guy to trade for or sign. Look at how many new Yankees are on this team. As so many people want to lump the Yankees of the last years together or the last few years together, there's so many guys on this team. This is their first year. This is Trent Grisham's really his first year playing. Cody Bellinger's first year. This is Ryan McMahon's first month playing here. You know, even the young guys like Ben Rice, Dominguez, this is their first opportunity. Will Warren, Cam Schlittler, who we'll see tonight. So it's still very new. Let's give this team an opportunity to show us that they want to win, you know, are going to fight to get to wherever they're going to go. And, like, realize Brian Cashman's job, he does very well. And he might have the hardest job of any GM in baseball.
Yeah, he's also got to figure out who can handle New York and who can't.